So it says along Weymouth seafront, then away from the coast on the A353 through Osmington. So just travelling along Weymouth seafront again.
We are riding along the esplanade of Weymouth. For me, it's a seaside town associated with Sunday school outings, sandcastles and buying a stick of rock. The interesting multicoloured clock on the seafront was erected in 1887 to celebrate the 50th year of Queen Victoria's reign. The seafront Georgian terraces form a lovely long continuous row, which are now hotels and guest houses, apartments, shops and restaurants. There is lots I could say about Weymouth, for example about Sir Christopher Wren being its Member of Parliament, how King George III spent time recuperating here from his bouts of madness, why the mounted white horse cut into the limestone hillside at nearby Osmington is thought to be King George III, or I could tell you about the 500,000 troops who left here on D-Day. Many of these were from the US 1st Division, known as the Big Red One, who landed on Omaha Beach. Lots for you to do your own research on.
So we've taken a right off the main road up to a National Trust car park, and we're hoping that there's a green lane or some kind of byway beyond it. We're not sure if we're allowed to use it or not, but if we can, it's 4 miles of little track along the coast. Yeah, gate's open. Yeah.
In episode 2 you may remember us riding off-road in Cornwall, and in episode 5 I mentioned green lanes. Unlike other countries, there's pretty much no way you can simply roam off-road on a motorcycle unless a private landowner allows you. But there are green lanes. These are rights of way and rough roads where, as long as you are otherwise fully road legal, you can ride off-road. That's a very simple explanation of what can be a contentious subject, at least here in the UK, so if you're thinking you'd like to explore for yourself, do some research. For more information, look up the Trial Riders Fellowship website. Our research suggested there was one such lane, Old Daggers Gate Road, that runs from the Ringstead Bay car park to West Lulworth. When we got there, it wasn't marked as a green lane, and it wasn't clear which lane it was. We had a really good look and even ventured down a very steep hill to try to find it, but could only find what appeared to be a footpath, or at best a bridleway. We were disappointed, but not prepared to continue into the unknown, especially as we were so loaded up. We're still not sure if it was a green lane or not. If you know, drop a message in the comments below. Fortunately, the diversion wasn't wasted, because we were still able to enjoy the first bit of the track and take in these amazing views. We have some future adventures planned, where we will explore these lanes and the story behind them in more detail.
If we were on a little 125, it would be different.
Yeah, actually, when I start grabbing it by the scruff of the neck, I feel way more okay with it.
Yeah. I know, the wind is a factor for sure. And it's going to be exposed like this again, isn't it? Well, that is a heck of a wind. Yeah. Come up, park up, spend the whole day up here. Well, I would, but you wouldn't. You'd be like, right, come on, what are we doing now? I'd be like, I'm just enjoying the view, reading my book. Itchy Boots, if you're watching our little video, this is our coastal tour of the UK.
In our quest to make it around the entire coast, inevitably, there are compromises. When we look back, we muse over the places we wished we'd spent more time exploring, and even those we missed completely. Perhaps because we've been there before, or could easily go there again, places like Lulworth Cove and Durdle Door fit into that category. Throughout this adventure, we are constantly having to balance completing the task and taking things in.
Closed. Something's closed. Yeah. So it says this is so back up the river. So does that mean we can't get to Tyneham?
Back in episode 5 I pointed out the red flags that were flying at Tregantle Fort. These are used to warn the public of live military firing. Here the flags are being flown at the Lulworth Range. This meant the road we wanted to take was closed today. It also meant that our planned visit to Tyneham village would have to wait until another day.
That is a pity, yes.
It might seem very picturesque, and it is, but most of this coastline and the area inland is used by the military. There are 2 army bases, Lulworth Camp, and a little further inland is Bovington Camp. This is where the British Armoured Regiments are based, including the Royal Armoured Corps and Household Cavalry Regiment. At Bovington Camp there is a tank museum, open to the public.
Oh my goodness, there is a posh house. I wonder if I've got that on camera. Hope so. That is amazing. There's like a long leap down there basically, but not quite as big.
Tyneham village is one of Dorset's most interesting tourist destinations. Before the Second World War, Tyneham was a bustling village. It had its own church, school, rectory, several farms and lots of beautiful cottages. Its most prominent building was the grand mansion, called Tyneham House. Life for the villagers was idyllic and simple. Like many places of that era, there was no electricity or running water. However, it was still a lovely place to live. They were free from the trouble and strife of the outside world. Due to its proximity to Lulworth firing ranges, the government decided to claim Tyneham village and much of the surrounding land as a place to train the Allied forces. The villagers were told they must temporarily leave their homes for the greater good. The villagers didn't want to leave. After all, who would want to leave such lovely homes in a quiet and peaceful part of the Dorset countryside? They didn't know it at the time, but once the war was over, they would never be allowed to return to their homes. As they packed up their belongings and left, they pinned a note to the door of the village church, which read, "Please treat the church and houses with care. We have given up our homes, where many of us have lived for generations, to help win the war to keep men free. We will return one day and thank you for treating the village kindly." The village of Tyneham has remained as if frozen in time for the last 60 years. Most of the buildings are now derelict. I'm not sure if this is due to just being abandoned or from the military using them as targets, probably a bit of both. Some of the buildings, in particular the church, have been preserved. There is also an old telephone kiosk, the original K1 type that we spoke about in episode 4. The village, access roads and range walks are open to the public when there is no firing. That's most weekends, but not all, as we discovered, and on bank holidays. It also tends to be open throughout the month of August. Kimmeridge Bay is a small rugged cove. It can only be accessed by vehicle on a private road, and there is a toll to pay.
Hello? You right? How much is it?
£1.20.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I got it.
Stop the bike, get your gloves off, get your card out.
Yeah.
So we've just paid our toll of £1.20 to come down to Kimmeridge Bay.
Facilities are limited, especially out of season, but car park and toilets are provided.
And there's the tower ahead of us, which is rented out. It will walk up to it.
Clavell Tower stands high on the cliff overlooking the bay. Built in 1830, its location has captivated many writers, including Thomas Hardy and P.D. James. In 2006, it was moved 25 metres away from the eroding cliff. It is managed by the Landmark Trust now, a charity that restores historic buildings at risk and makes them available for holidays.
Yeah,
The cars will give a bit of
yeah, that's true.
shelter to
So we're in Kimmeridge, which is a private bay. Very windy day, very noisy out there today. But it's absolutely beautiful, very sunny. Not too cold, but a lot of wind, a lot of breeze. We are at the far easterly end of the Jurassic coast we've been on since episode 8. The wave-cut platform here provides a great environment for some quite exotic looking creatures, plant life and formations. It gives its name to Kimmeridge Clay Formation, which is one of the most geologically significant formations in the UK. It's the source rock for much of the UK's oil reserves under the North Sea. You can see and smell the oil content in fresh exposures of the rock here. Perhaps not on this day, but Kimmeridge is a wonderful place to snorkel.
Just ahead of us you can see the railway viaduct that carries the Swanage Railway. Our timing was perfect, but unfortunately our camera angle wasn't. It used to be part of the National Railway network, but closed in 1972. It is now operated as a heritage line, using historic engines and rolling stock. Now I'm videoing.
Hello.
I thought I was videoing just now.
Right.
So this is our first pitch on the first night of our third leg of the coastal tour. We are at Tom's Field. Where are we?
Purbeck Island.
Purbeck Island,
Yeah.
just beyond Corfe Castle.
Well, Purbeck is peninsula in it, but they
Purbeck.
call it Purbeck Island.
They call it Purbeck Island, so Jared says. And this is our lovely view. And chairs upside down at the moment. This is a new tent, which has gone up incredibly well. We have one fellow camper. Bike's all good. And lovely blue skies, not cold yet.
So we're going down to the sink with our washing. When we arrived, it said pre-booking only, and so the lady asked if we'd booked. I said no, to which she said, oh, take a look and see if we've got a space. 7 PM this evening. I don't think anyone else is going to arrive. No one else is that mad to be camping
April the 7th.
in April.
No, the 6th.
April the 6th.
No, it's the 7th.
7th.
It's the 7th. It's my birthday tomorrow.
What's your birthday tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to be in a hotel tomorrow.
That'll be your birthday treat. Hotel. In what?
A warm bath.
A warm bath and a hotel. One night camping. We got to do more than one night camping. And here we are. We got it's pretty basic. The tent went up a treat. If we were going to camp, we were going to make it as comfortable as possible. That said, it was still pretty cold. We wanted to stay here because it was a short walk, or so we thought, to Dancing Ledge, a secluded dramatic coastal plateau. The walk was longer than we anticipated, but well worth it. What a lovely way to end the day. Well, good evening. We made it to our destination, Tom's Field, on Purbeck Island in Dorset. And we've found a lovely little spot next to the sea. We hope it's next to the sea and we don't have to walk too far. But we're now going to try and find the coast.
We're trying to find Dancing Ledge in particular.
Dancing Edge, I think it's called. I called it Ledge and I just saw it signposted back there. It's Edge.
Dancing Edge.
Edge or Ledge, I don't know. What do you think? Write in the comment section down below. So this sign clearly says Dancing Ledge. I'm going to have to go back and get photographic proof of a sign I saw earlier that said Edge. Perhaps someone scrubbed the L off of it. What sort of day you had?
Lovely day. Some lovely roads. Lovely weather apart from the wind.
It's been very windy. Well, we're still going. So that's Dancing Ledge. We've settled on Ledge. We've seen enough signs that say Ledge. They outnumber the signs that say Edge. And we decided that we are going to go down to it. We've already climbed down quite a bit. This is possibly steeper than it looks on the video. And we're going to go down onto the ledge. So, last few steps down. Well, I can't tell you anything about this because I've done no research at all. Maybe for smuggling. I really do not know. Could just be to shore it up, in fairness. Bit scary actually, being under that lot. Was it worth it?
Oh
It was worth it. Good.
Definitely worth it.
And basically, we managed to carry on this motorcycle not only this tent and ourselves, but everything in it. It's like a cosy little place, isn't it?
I've got my socks on, look.
Please join us next time for more coastal camping craziness, interesting facts and motorcycle malarkey. If you like what you see, like and subscribe, but most of all, please let us know your thoughts in the comments below.